Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just dive right in today because we are looking at a concept that literally dictates everything about where you'll be a decade from now. We are talking about the architecture of tomorrow, how the decisions you're making today, right now, are actively constructing your future reality. You see, we aren't just letting life happen to us, we're actually building our future selves brick by brick, habit by habit.
So I want you to imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. You walk into a room and bam, there they are. Would that person reach out and thank you for the sacrifices you made, the discipline you built, and the habits you started today? Or would they ask why you waited so long to change? It's a pretty heavy question, right? But the undeniable truth is, every single habit you repeat today is actively creating the person you're going to meet tomorrow. Are you building a future you'll actually be proud of?
All right, part one, meet your future self.
Psychologically speaking, human beings really struggle to empathize with their future selves. We kind of treat them like total strangers. But your future self isn't some abstract destiny that you just accidentally stumble into. It's the direct, mathematical result of every habit you repeat, every calculated risk you take, and crucially, every action you actively avoid today. It all compounds. You are manufacturing your future right this second.
Moving on to part two, the immediate comfort trap. There is this eternal tug-of-war happening in your brain every single day. On one side, immediate comfort. On the other, future rewards. We have a deeply ingrained biological tendency to prioritize what feels good right this exact second. You know the feeling. Hitting snooze, doom-scrolling social media, skipping that workout. That's immediate comfort. But building a successful future demands the exact opposite. It requires the absolute necessity of delaying that quick dopamine hit in exchange for long-term rewards.
And unfortunately, our brains are kind of rigged against us here. If you map it out, a massive 80% of our default setting is just craving that immediate comfort. That leaves a measly 20% for actually planning future rewards. So if you don't consciously fight against your own biology, you're always going to favor the easy path today, which means you're completely sacrificing your success tomorrow.
Which brings us to part three, how daily habits compound.
Look, time is going to pass anyway, right? And your habits are literally the vehicle you use to travel through it. Think about the long-term trajectory here. Negative habits, like eating junk or overspending, they seem totally harmless in the moment, but mathematically, they curve downward into devastating future regret. Then there's just living on autopilot. That's stagnation. You're surviving, not thriving. But positive habits, tiny, disciplined actions like reading 10 pages a day or investing a small chunk of your paycheck, give that a decade, and those tiny habits compound into an immense, completely unrecognizable level of future success.
The stark reality boils down to this. Average habits create average lives. If you do what is merely comfortable every single day, if you just do what everyone else around you is doing, you are only ever going to yield average long-term outcomes. If you want extraordinary financial freedom or extraordinary mental well-being, you simply cannot rely on average daily habits.
Let's look at part four, the cost of waiting.
We all operate under this massive illusion that time is infinite. We severely underestimate how incredibly fast the years pass from today to year 1 to year 5 to year 10. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, "Oh, I'll start next month," or "I'll get serious next year"? We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect Monday, to finally start changing. But here's the catch. The timeline doesn't pause while you wait. That 10-year mark, it's arriving whether you take action today or not.
Consider two totally different paths over a decade. If you're just cruising on autopilot, in 10 years, you're literally in the exact same spot, just older and probably a lot more frustrated. Now, contrast that with consistent small changes. Think of someone who simply replaced 30 minutes of TV every night with learning a new skill. Over 1 year, they might just seem slightly better off. But over 5, and especially 10 years, that one small daily habit compounds into entirely new careers, successful businesses, and profound personal growth. That, right there, is the silent cost of remaining on autopilot.
Finally, part five, building a better tomorrow.
To actually build this future, you need a rock-solid foundation. We can break this down into the core pillars of MindWealth: discipline, awareness, habits, confidence, and long-term thinking. Awareness is what lets you even see the autopilot trap in the first place. Habits are the compounding interest of your self-improvement. And discipline? Discipline is the bridge between your goals today and your future self tomorrow. Over a 10-year horizon, disciplined, long-term thinking is going to beat raw talent every single time. Absolutely guaranteed.
So how do we put this into motion? You need a clear action blueprint. First, acknowledge your 10-year future self. Seriously, Make them a real person in your mind. Second, recognize the silent cost of living on autopilot. Doing nothing is an active choice, and it's a choice that costs you dearly. Third, at every single crossroads, consciously choose long-term discipline over immediate comfort. And lastly, implement small daily habit changes. You do not need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to shift your daily trajectory by a few degrees.
10 years. I want to bring us right back to where we started and ask you to keep this time frame front and center in your mind. If you met yourself 10 years from now, what do you genuinely hope that person would thank you for? Would it be for finally starting that business? For taking your health seriously? For getting out of debt? Whatever it is, your future self is relying on you to start it today.
So don't leave your future to chance. You are the architect. Take the tools we've explored in this explainer, step off of autopilot, and start building intentionally. Because your future is not created tomorrow. It is created by what you do today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I challenge you to make one choice right now that your future self will thank you for.